Insight. The first ever series to analyze the unexplored aspects and issues of Carnatic music. Narayana Hari, Narayana Hari, Narayana Hari, Narayana, Narayana Hari, Narayana Hari, Narayana Hari, Narayana, Narayana Hari, Narayana Hari, Narayana Hari, Narayana. Nashwaramaina dhanashwamulanune, Nashwaramaina dhanashwamulanune, Vishwasilcha bhuteshwara Hari Hari, Vishwasilcha bhuteshwara Hari Hari, Narayana Hari, Narayana Hari, Narayana Hari, Narayana. Naju pulumi, naju kotanamu, naju pulumi, naju kotanamu, nejudani tyaga rajula malaru, nejudani tyaga rajula malaru, Narayana Hari, Narayana Hari, Narayana Hari, Narayana, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana. Dear Rasikas, welcome to the 12th episode of our Insight series. Today we are going to deal with a very interesting topic about how Rasikas go about identifying ragas in concerts. This is indeed a very interesting area of study because there are different levels of Rasikas attending a concert. Some come just for the pleasure of listening. Some do understand the elements and the fundamentals of our Carnatic music system. Some of them are much more knowledgeable and understand the nuances of ragas and so on. But as I said earlier also, we need not actually learn music in order to appreciate it. This is something we also have understood through years of conducting our music appreciation program, where we were able to see so many Rasikas getting involved in the process of listening without actually being able to sing or perform an instrument. Now, how does this really happen? How is a Rasika who is coming to a concert able to identify different ragas? The first thing is about a Rasika who comes to a concert and just enjoys the music for whatever it is. For him, through years of listening, we see that he is able to identify common ragas like Todi, Shankarabharanam, Kalyani, etc. For example, if I start singing like After this, I may probably go into expanding it in an elaborate manner, but the first few phrases through years of listening immediately is able to relate and say, oh, this is Todi. Or take another very common example like Shankarabharanam, where the heart of the ragam lies in this pivotal point of or for example, another very, very common ragam which is elaborately expounded in a kacheri. Tadari rana tadari rana nora ri rana. Yes, you did guess it right, it's Kambodhi. So these kind of common ragams which are sung very, very frequently in concerts get embedded in the mind of the rasika and they are able to easily find out. And this finding out of ragas is a very, very challenging and wonderful experience for the rasika, I would say, because when the artist starts singing a raga, maybe through an alapana or a composition, when the rasika is able to correctly find out the raga, he feels a sense of great satisfaction within himself. He feels he has accomplished something, and that is really very, very genuine on his part also, because there are so many ragas which are covered through the gamut of a concert. So for a rasika to be able to identify each becomes a very, very beautiful aesthetic experience. The next set of ragas that I am going to discuss, which rasikas actually identify, are through what we call as the distinct phrases. That is, certain key phrases which give identity to the ragam. We'll explain that in detail later. But let me give you some few examples of this, like Riti Gaula, Sahana, Bekada, Kannada, etc. But the next level of understanding ragas actually becomes slightly difficult when you have a cluster of similar sounding ragas. This is where the rasika gets very, very confused. In fact, even students of music sometimes get confused, because when they are not able to identify what swaras go into the making, it becomes slightly a bewildering experience for them. For example, if you take three ragas like Abogi, Sri Ranjani and Jaya Manohari, in Abogi we have, for example, the Arohana and the Avarona as Sari Ga Ma Da Sa Sa Da Ma Ga Ri Sa Ta Da Ra Na Ri Ra Ra A Ra Na Ra Ra Ra. This same Abogi, next when it takes the Nishadam also into it and encompasses the Nishadam, it becomes Sri Ranjani as Dani Da Bagari Ga Gamadani Sani Da Bagari Gamadani Da Bagari Gamagari Sani Dani Sa. So if you are really able to catch hold of the Nishadam and get a sense of it, you would immediately understand that, oh, this is not Abogi but Sri Ranjani. So for that you have to develop a very keen ear to understand that there is an excess note of the Nishada happening for it to sound like Sri Ranjani. Now there is another ragam called Jaya Manohari, which takes the Arohana of Abogi and Avarona of Sri Ranjani. So that becomes quite confusing. In fact, when I have been sitting in concert halls along with other rasikas, I have seen them break their head, because for them suddenly the raga sounds like Abogi, suddenly it sounds like Sri Ranjani. So if they didn't know there was a raga existing called Jaya Manohari, they would definitely be puzzled about what it is. So there are similar sounding ragas. For another example of a set of ragas I could give is, for example, Sri Ragam, and Madhyamavati and Manirangu, where you see that the Arohana is the same for all of them, and it is only in the Avarohana that the difference happens. For example, let's see how it is. Sa re ma pa ni sa, sa ni pa ma re sa. You guessed it right, that is Madhyamavati. Once again, sa re ma pa ni sa, sa ni pa ma re sa. Now the next raga, which is very akin to it, sa re ma pa ni sa, sa ni pa ma re ga re sa. Sa re ma pa ni sa, sa ni pa ma re ga re sa. Since you would have heard the very popular composition Yendaro Mahano Bhavu, where Tyagaraja has very beautifully incorporated the absolute heart of that ragam in the very first phrase itself. Now that has become the key phrase of this whole ragam. So when somebody starts with that, immediately you are able to understand that it is Shri. Now there is another rarer raga called Manirangu, which takes the same Arohana again. Sa re ma pa ni sa, sa ni pa ma ga re sa, sa ni pa ma ga re sa. And since this is also not a very popular raga in terms of the number of compositions that are in this particular ragam, like for example, you have a composition of our Dikshadhar Mama Pattabhirama or a Swati Tarnal Kriti, Jaya Jaya Padmanabha, but there are not too many compositions. So it is slightly difficult for the Rasika to decipher that this is Manirangu. Again, because of the fact also that you have heard much more of Madhyamavati and much more of Sri Ragam compared to Manirangu. So what I want to emphasize here is that there are many such cluster of ragas where they may sound very, very similar. So after years of listening very intently, you learn to understand where the difference lies actually. In this context also, I would like to mention that this does not mean that a Rasika does not understand the swaras or the swarasthanas, in the sense that if I sing like sa and then sing re, 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 sa. So where the Rasika would have obviously understood that one re was higher than the other. So that is again the training of the ear, and this is something very, very basic. Like when somebody speaks also, they speak in a low tone, they speak in a high tone, you are able to decipher the difference in the tonal quality. Similarly here also you see that, for example, another example, if you could take the Dhaivata, pa dha, pa dha, pa dha. So there were three levels, 1, 2 and 3 of the Dhaivata. You may not know as a Rasika that one is called the Shuddha Dhaivata, another Chatushruti Dhaivata or the Shatshruti Dhaivata. It doesn't matter, but a keen Rasika definitely is able to understand the different tonal levels of each note, and that is something we have to also address here. The next set of ragas which I would like to talk about are the different ragas which take up specific scales, like for example very popular ragas like Mohanam, Hindolam and many such ragas. So where you have to traverse the entire canvas of the ragam to give the identity of the ragam. So when I sing that entire phrase, you are immediately able to understand that, oh, this is Hindolam. For example, nothing more required here to prove that this is Hindolam, because the whole gamut maga ma ma ga ma da ni sa ni da ma ga ga ma da ma ga ma ga sa, that gamut was covered to give you that picture of Hindolam. Or if you take Mohanam, ta da na re ha ne ri So these are all very common ragams where the phrase itself gives you an indication that this is Mohanam. In all this, what I want to emphasize is that more than the understanding of the swaras or the swarasthanas, what the Rasika is actually trying to connect here is through the medium of what we call as a soundscape. Soundscape in the sense that understanding and forming an imagery of that sound of that ragam in the mind. So for example, when I sing Brova bhara mara ghurama tadarana, this imagery gets formed in the mind. So he is able to immediately associate, for example, here Brova Bharama and Bahudari. And even in rare ragams, if you say like for example Janaki Ramana in Suddha Simantani, or for example if you take Yenda Muddo in Bindu Malini, the Rasika may not even know what is Bindu Malini or Suddha Simantani, but that association of that particular imagery of that ragam through that composition gives him an idea of what the ragam is or what the main contour of the ragam is. Now this is how he expands his vistas or the knowledge of his ragas also, in the sense that he may know one composition in a particular ragam. When he comes to the concert hall and hears some new composition in the same ragam, what is he trying to do actually is to relate the phrases of what he has already heard with what he is hearing now, and he tries to relate. For example, if you take Unnai allal vere gati illai amma. Probably this is a song he knows, and he comes to the concert hall and hears Isha Pahima Jagadisha Pahima Tararira. So some phrase which has got a relationship in these two songs, and then immediately he is able to understand that what he is hearing as a new song is also in Kalyani. And this is how a Rasika develops his sense of understanding of ragas and also expands his knowledge about the raga factor actually. We will now look into some of the ragas where the phrases or the main, what we call as a pidi, the ragam's main heart lies, and how through these phrases a Rasika is able to identify the ragam. Here again, before going into it, I would also like to make a mention about another confusion that may happen in the mind of Rasika, in the sense that we have what we call as the survival of the fittest, and the imagery of the fittest ragam always remains in our mind. For example, those who have heard Todi for many years now, Sarigama Pamagarisa. Now if I sing in Suddha Simantani Janaki Ramana, Janaki Ramana Bhakta Parijata Pahi Sakala Lokachara. So many of these phrases that I am singing are much akin to Todi, and so you may confuse it. But a keen Rasika would be able to understand that Janaki Ramana. So where he has employed Garisa Padasa, whereas Todi is Garisa Nidani Dani Sariga Mapamagarisa Nirisa. Whereas he directly skips the nishada here, Garisa Padasa. So a keen ear would understand that though he may not know that it is Suddha Simatani in the first round, he will at least know that this is something, a janya of Todi maybe, but then it is not Todi. So this is again another way of trying to know the unknown through the known. The subject of ragas is indeed very, very vast, as big as an ocean, and we have covered only some aspects in this particular episode. So I wish to take up some more interesting aspects about ragas in the next episode of the program. That is the same raga identification and the thought process of rasikas in terms of identifying it will be continued in the next episode. With this, we come to the conclusion of this particular episode. And if you have any questions or feedback regarding this, please do WhatsApp or email to us. Thank you very much.